Hola, ¿cómo están? And what is going on, guys? DarkScheme here. Hope you're all having a good weekend. Today I'll be talking to you guys about the Halo World Championship NA Regionals that's going on right now. And I'm going to give you guys a day one recap, as yesterday was the first day of the tournament. And it was pretty interesting, pretty close to what the X Games was as far as day one. So let's get right into it. First match of the day was CLG versus Elevate. And the first game was CTF on Coliseum. CLG ended up outslaying Elevate for the entire match, the entire duration, and they won in a very quick 3-0 victory. Game 2 was Slayer on Eden, and once again, CLG coming out strong, ended the match with a 50-29 victory. Very one-sided match. Game 3, Strongholds on Empire, Elevate holding on to the series. They were just not able to capitalize on CLG. CLG ended up taking the series 3-0 and the match 100-6. Second match of the day was Renegades versus Astral Authority, previously known as Severance. Game 1 again, CTF on Coliseum. RNG came out swinging, came out strong, got 2 caps on Astral, and they were on the verge of a 3-0 victory, but Astral made a clutch flag stop and ran the enemy flag, and score went to a 2-1. Unfortunately, Renegades did continue to outslay Astral and finished up the match 3-1, taking game 1 in the series. Game 2 was Slayer on Eden, and while it was a very different game, a very slow-paced game, the game actually went to a time limit, and Astral keeping up with Renegades. The score was very close, but RNG clutched up, and like I said, the time ran out, and Renegades took the match 43-40. Game 3, Strongholds on Empire. Very similar to last series, Strongholds were capped back-to-back from each team, but Renegades able to hold a triple cap for a good while and winning the game 100-27. Again, a 3-0 victory, looking very similar to the first day of X Games. Next match of the day was EG versus Envy. First game was CTF on Truth. Envy got a nice relay flag run, making the score 2-1, and in the final 30 seconds of regulation time, EG made a clutch flag run to tie the score 2-2 and bring the game into overtime. Slays after that went back and forth. Unfortunately for Envy, EG made a flag run and won the match. In the last few minutes of the game, 3-2, leading the series 1-0. Game 2 was Slayer on Regret, and Evil Geniuses finished this game strong, winning the match 50-28. They kept a strong lead the entire match. And Game 3 was Strongholds on Plaza. Envy was able to get a triple cap early on, but were unable to hold the setup. EG pushed out, held 2 caps for the remainder of the game, kept the setup, and took the game 100-28. So unfortunately for Envy, every single map and every single game type was played very well, but day 1 just seemed to not be the greatest for the blue side. EG did take the series 3-0, and the next match of the day was one to anticipate for sure. Triggers Pound versus Optic Gaming. Triggers Pound, of course, having former member of Optic Gaming, Assault. And in what was an interesting battle, every single game was close. Game 1, CTF on Truth. Flag caps and map control went back and forth. The score was tied up 2-2, but Triggers Pound capped the final flag of the game. Got a 3-2 victory, bringing them in the series 1-0. Game 2, Slayer on Regret, saw a different Optic Gaming. Optic Gaming were able to control power-ups and power weapons and take the game convincingly with a 50-37 score, and they tie the series up 1-1. Game 3, Strongholds on Plaza. Triggers Pound ended up getting this win decisively, with a game ending at 100-44. Triggers Pound take it, and they kept control of the map and choose Strongholds for the majority of the game. Game 4, Triggers Pound and Optic Gaming trade flag caps. Triggers Pound take the lead 2-1 for the majority of the match, and with 30 seconds left, Optic Gaming begin a run, but is quickly stopped, giving Triggers Pound the game win and the series win. Next up was Elevate versus Overdrive, and what seemed to be a defeated Elevate was completely different and completely turned around this series. Game 1, CTF on Truth. Elevate coming out swinging. Each team traded a first flag cap, but Elevate turning the intensity up and capping back-to-back flags, making the first game score 3-1, taking the series up 1-0. Game 2 was Slayer on Regret, and this was one of the most surprising and one of the most dominant games I think I saw this weekend. Elevate took a quick lead and maintained that game lead. At one point, the game was 29-9 in favor of Elevate, and the match did end up at a 50-25 score, and Elevate take the series 2-0. Game 3, Strongholds on Plaza. Elevate come out flying and immediately triple cap at the beginning of the game, and they actually ended up holding the control of most of the strongholds for the entirety of the match. The game ended at a dominant 100-0 score in favor of Elevate, and it was a quick and decisive 3-0 from Elevate. Insane game to watch, definitely one to see the top level of Halo being played. The next match, and the final match of the day, was another one for rivals. Team Liquid versus Renegades. First match of the series, again CTF on Truth. Each team trading a cap at the beginning of the match. Renegades goes up 2-1 in the middle of the match with 20 seconds left in regulation time. Team Liquid cap a flag, tying up the game 2-2 and going into overtime. Team Liquid end up running the last flag to win the match, outslaying Renegades for a 3-2 victory, taking the series 1-0 in favor of Liquid. Game 2 was Slayer on Regret, and this was a very close match. Unfortunately for Renegades, Team Liquid were able to close out this game with a 50-47 score, and definitely one to watch as map control went back and forth from each different team, as well as power-ups and power weapons. Game 3, Strongholds on Plaza. Team Liquid end up taking 2 strongholds and keep map control at the start of the match. Renegades finally begin to score at a 45-point deficit. Team Liquid quickly take back stronghold and map control, and Renegades finally later on into the match begin a triple cap during a 25-point deficit. Unfortunately for them, they were unable to keep control, and Team Liquid once again take back map control and triple cap. Team Liquid end the match with a 100-72 victory and a quick 3-0 sweep in favor of Liquid. A very different Team Liquid as we saw in X Games, and we will have to keep an eye out on Renegades to see what they can answer back when playing today. Unfortunately, it did seem like players had audio issues that were not fixable regarding some sort of the audio equipment that they were using, and because of this, some players could not hear in-game audio and or their teammates. And it seems to have been a lot worse on the blue side. You can kind of tell because of the teams that won ended up being on the red side. The teams that lost were on the blue side. So every 3-0 and almost every single game that was won was from the red side. So this definitely means that the underdogs who had to play, unfortunately, were under some circumstances which could have impacted day 1 performances. Players did voice these issues, and audio equipment is looking to be swapped out today for day 2 of the regionals, and hopefully that changes up and we see a different day and a lot less 3-0 sweeps. But that is pretty much it for me today, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that recap, and be sure to tune in to the NA Regionals Day 2 today at twitch.tv/Halo. And as always, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.